What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and today we are talking about Splatoon Raiders because there's a demo out there that you can play right now. Nintendo's been doing this with every single game so far that's released for Switch 2, where you can go to the store and play a demo of that game. I really wish they just released this thing, but I get it. Some people probably hack it and get into the main game and start leaking stuff. That's the current day of how things work. So yeah, you got to go to the store. You got to get off the couch and touch grass to play games. But yeah, I played this one at my local Target. There's a demo kiosk, and pretty much they give you around 3 stages to complete. One's like a little demo stage, and then there's 2 extra ones. One regular stage, and then one stage where you're digging underground into 2 sub-levels to fight a boss. Once again, big shout out to my boy Brendan for recording today. My wife once again took a break. She's at work. She's normally my cameraman or camera woman, and this time it's Brendan. So big shout out to Brendan. Everybody say big shout out to Brendan. But yeah, let me tell you how I feel about this game before, jumping into the game, like my previous thoughts. So before going into this game, I wanted a story mode that was more akin to Octo Expansion or the single-player campaigns with missions and little challenges and stuff and cool moments with cool boss battles. So when I saw that this was going to kind of be a salmon run mode, it kind of let me down a bit. I was kind of sour about it, and even after watching all the trailers, directs, and gameplay, it looks fine, especially for salmon run players. But as I am interested in seeing everything this game has to offer, I wasn't super over the moon about it. Like, I wasn't losing sleep over this game like I would be like a mainline Splatoon game. But anyways, I jumped into this game and I tested it out, and let me talk about my experience with you guys. So the first stage is, like I said, just kind of like a tutorial area. It teaches you how to paint up things and, how you're going to collect stuff, how to pretty much shoot and aim and take out some weaker enemies and some balloons in order to get these mysterious shards. Just some basic stuff. I do like how some of the areas are a little bit more open. They allow you to explore. Also, the surfboard thing is so cool. You can also turn into like an ink blob. It's not even like a squid. It's like a blob of ink as you ride the surfboard. But yeah, I feel like those sections are pretty cool. And once again, it's just like cool little mechanics that I wish were added into a full like single player adventure campaign. But enough of mentioning that. This is not what that is. And that's the thing. You got to go into this game telling yourself immediately, this is not going to be that. This is going to be a salmon run adventure game. That's what this is. This is primarily salmon run, but this time in bigger, wider areas where you can explore a little bit more. Now, one thing I've noticed is I really hope there's more explorative areas, and I'm pretty sure there will be more secrets and stuff. I saw in the Nintendo Treehouse there will be sunken scrolls hidden and stuff, so maybe giving us more areas to explore and check in the terrain and stuff, which is pretty cool. But like, yeah, I wish there were more off the beaten path areas, like maybe I can find a secret cave or something if I look over and enter it. I didn't really see any of that in the first 2 stages. Now, like I said, the first stage was just a tutorial demo, but you get to pick a pack for the second and third stages. I went with speed and then the power pack. Now, this stage had an emphasis on flying and using these plants to boost up into the air. I think this is probably one of my favorite parts so far. It's just having like these little environmental things that help you during battle. Instead of just standing in these giant open areas fighting salmonid, you can bounce off of plants or even off of your little robot guy based on one of the deep cut members that's inside. But yeah, also using the little subs was a lot of fun. That little kick thing from the speed tank is so much fun to use. It's not the most powerful thing ever, but you can clear out a good little chunk of enemies using that thing. Just a little quick, almost Smash Bros move that you can do, kind of like a down air or something, or like a spike attack that you can use on these enemies. Is a lot of fun. The other one was just kind of like a boomerang that you can throw out and it comes back. That was pretty cool as well, just definitely nowhere near as powerful as the kick was, but it was a cool little thing to have out. Also, these things recharge extremely quickly. I mean, you can throw these things out and immediately use them again in like 4 to 5 seconds. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And obviously Nintendo means for us to really use these things for them to be on such a small cooldown. Now, this is very early in the game, but this is where you'll start to see, this is where it's going to have a disconnect with some people. If you didn't like Salmon Run, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this game, because this is Salmon Run. At its core, this is Salmon Run. I know there are challenge rooms that are very akin to the missions from the single player. I've already seen them in Treehouse gameplay. I've seen them from some previewers that's actually posted some gameplay of them, but there is none of them within the demo levels that you can play right now. It's just a strict basic levels. And this is where it starts to feel just like Salmon Run. You're in these gigantic open areas, and you're just fighting tons of salmonid that pop out of these vents, and you're just fighting hordes of salmonid. And it reminds you a lot of Salmon Run and even the Side Order DLC that just came out for Splatoon 3. it's kind of the same thing. In fact, there are exact copies of the same enemy archetypes that you found inside Order, like those flying fish that had sprinklers on their tails that cover the ground. You'll see a lot of familiar enemies that just have a new look to them, which I know for a lot of people, they're going to be kind of let down by that. It's just kind of asset reusing, and yeah, I get why they did it though. You don't want to make brand new assets. The game would have took forever to develop if they did that. We'd never see Splatoon 4 in that case. But use this part as an example of something that I really hope would have happened. I saw a pillar over there on a little assault island, and I thought for sure there'd be a way to get over there, and maybe be a secret wall that you can paint up on the backside or something. Nope, you can't go over there. It doesn't even let you. There's like an invisible wall once you get close. I was kind of let down. Once again, this is a demo stage, but I do believe that this stage is probably going to stay 100% the same once the game releases. It's an early stage as well. I get that. But I really hope there's more areas and more things to explore than just going through these very linear levels with no, beat off the path areas to check for hidden collectibles and stuff. It's just kind of like make your way to the goal fighting hordes of enemies. So yeah, I'm really hoping there's more secrets and stuff. But this is pretty simple. Your goal is to jump into these levels and simply make your way to the giant amount of material at the end of each stage that you need your buddy to drill into. It's that simple, and you're just fighting hordes of enemies along the way. There's some slight, and I mean slight, platforming, like you'll see, or already showed you, the area where you'll jump from the plants that will slowly have you hover from platform to platform. But it's nothing challenging. Once again, this is very early in the game, so perhaps there's way more challenging platforming sections later on, which would be really cool. Now, the final area has you drilling underground to 2 sub-levels. This is undoubtedly Salmon Run inside Order's DLC, because this is the exact same thing. You have a time limit in order to clear the floor, and to clear the floor in that time limit, you have to fill up your power egg meter at the top by collecting them by defeating enemies and stuff. Or you'll have to defeat one super enemy before the time is up. Once again, this just kind of felt like more Salmon Run and more Side Order, especially with this underground area section. And as we've seen in the trailer, there's one section that you're going to be going down over 20 floors. There was one little quick section, you probably missed it, it went by so quick, but that's a lot of floors, man. And a lot of floors of just fighting hordes of enemies, which we've done that so much. We've had 2 Salmon Run modes from Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. We've had a Side Order DLC that was based on this roguelike format. And it looks like it's the same situation again. If you had to ask me, what I can see this game being like is a combination of all the different Splatoon side modes that we've had outside of online multiplayer, but a more of an emphasis on the horde mode side of things. There's some challenge rooms that gives you some missions that are similar to the ones in Splatoons 1, 2, and 3, but for the most part, you're going to be fighting hordes of salmonid, just like Salmon Run, and also having dens very similar to Side Order. Now, something else I'm hoping is that there's actually unique boss battles in this game outside of these salty versions of these enemies, which are kind of like boss battles. I see them as more like mini bosses because they're just big salmonid. Like, this thing did not put up much of a fight at all. It just kind of sat still and had a killer whale-based attack where it shot this giant laser out, and you could just slowly step to the side and shoot it. I didn't have any problems with this, and even the oncoming enemy traffic wasn't that much of an issue once I got my special or just spammed my subs on them as I fought the big guy. And I had tons of time to spare still. But yeah, I'm really hoping there's actual boss battles with unique weak points and unique ways of taking them out, like the single-player campaigns had in the past games, because this just felt like I was shooting a big, slow-moving target. This is shooting Ganon in Hyrule Field from Breath of the Wild. But yeah, that was pretty much the general gist of the demo. What's my opinions and my takeaway? I'm still feeling just okay on this. I feel like the finished game could be pretty cool once I see more story implications and maybe some potential actual boss battles and some of those bonus challenge rooms with some cool unique puzzles and missions to solve. But right now, just fighting more hordes of enemies isn't super duper exciting for me. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, and especially if you love Salmon Run or if even if you love Side Order, like, you're gonna love this. But if those modes weren't ever your thing, like if you never really saw yourself jumping into Salmon Run that much in Splatoon 2 or 3, or even if you didn't want to buy the Side Order DLC or didn't like it, you probably won't like this game, and this may not be for you. This also at the same time feels like it could be a good beginner game for people that are not all that well versed in the world of Splatoon and not that good on the online multiplayer. You're just fighting hordes of these NPC characters, and it's getting you used to the controls and how to aim and shoot and using different weapons and seeing what they do. This is a really good game for you then. based on the previews, it does seem like this game gets pretty tough eventually, and I'm not doubting that at all. I can definitely see that being the case, especially when you're down 20 floors in a den and one loss can send you all the way back. That sounds miserable. So, on one hand, I can see that being super challenging, but on the other hand, I can see that being super frustrating. Now, you do have 3 lives, so I'm pretty sure you don't get sent all the way back out for losing just once. You probably have to lose all 3 lives to get sent out of a den, but I don't know. You let me know down below what you think about this. Are you a big fan of Salmon Run, or if you're not, are you still interested in picking this game up? Are you gonna pass, or is this something you see yourself sinking tons of hours into? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and I hope you all have a blessed rest of your day. See you guys.